So I just got my Panasonic GH5 and I'm super excited to test it out. I want to compare my Panasonic G7, which has been my workhorse, to the GH5 and to see if there's a noticeable difference, and perhaps maybe you can tell which camera is right for you. First impressions, the GH5 is a bit heavier and a bit bigger than the G7, although I wouldn't classify this as a heavy camera. It's still very lightweight. The GH5 shares the same battery as the GH4 and GH3, which is an improvement over the smaller battery on the G7. I like that the SD card slot is on the side, unlike on the G7, which it can become a bit frustrating when you have to remove the camera from the tripod to access your SD card slot. This is all fixed on the GH5, and you actually have two SD card slots, which I appreciate from the C100. You can use this feature to allocate your different files. So one can be for video, one can be for photos. You can have a backup recording, which can come in handy, and also just a relay record, so you can have twice as much storage. The GH5 has a headphone jack, full-size HDMI, and USB-C port. The G7 has room for customization, but the GH5 is more plentiful in customization options. In terms of image quality, I noticed that the GH5 appears a bit sharper, as well as an improved low light performance. However, the biggest difference with this camera is in terms of functionality. Now when you're using lenses without image stabilization, you can still get a stable shot using the in-body image stabilization, which I think I'm going to get used to from now on. You have more resolution and frame rate options. You can shoot 4K up to 60 frames per second at different bit rates, and you can shoot up to 180 frames per second in full HD, which is slowed down 13% of real time. I like that the GH5 as well as the GH4 slow down the footage in camera, so that way you don't have to do it in post. Now the image quality of 180 frames per second seems to be an improvement over the 96 frames per second on the GH4, which is a good thing. Now let's say you don't need as much high frame rates and 60 frames per second is enough for you. Well, now you can shoot in a higher resolution up to 4K, which I think is really cool. That means you don't have to go down to full HD to get slow motion. Because the GH5 has so many features, the menus are very plentiful. I'm still trying to get used to all the different features within the menus. So which camera is right for you? For budget shooters, I still recommend the Panasonic G7 or even the G85, as all the features that you need minus the bells and whistles. And you can save your money and invest towards higher quality lenses, lighting, and audio. If you want to invest in a quality camera that will last over the next few years, the GH5 would be my first camera to recommend, as all the features that you need now, plus the features that you will need within the next few years. If you have any questions regarding the Panasonic GH5, leave a comment down below and I'll try my best to address your question. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.